there?
I think you're on mute.
There's no substitute for real gaming fun. Go where fun lives. Old Chum Gaming Wittenberg.
I got a call from some scammer who had the nerve to ask for my Medicare number. I was not born yesterday.
When someone asked for my Medicare number in a text, I knew it was a scam. Nice catch.
And your mother knew it wasn't a real email.
Go, Mom.
I don't share my Medicare number with strangers.
If you get a call, text, or email asking for your Medicare or personal information,
Delete.
shut it down.
Nope.
Learn more at medicare.gov/fraud.
Are you seeing cracks in your basement walls? Are you wondering if your basement needs to be repaired? Call ABT Foundation Solutions. We'll conduct a free 20-point inspection. Visit callabt.com. Callabt.com.
Live on NBC 12, this is News Watch 12 at 5.
Good evening and welcome to News Watch 12 at 5. I'm Dan Hagan.
And I'm Jessica Jukich. In Wisconsin, most statewide elections come down to 1 or 2 percentage points, but that wasn't the case last night.
Nope, it was not. With a difference of nearly 12 percentage points, Milwaukee County Judge Janet Protasiewicz won a spot on the Wisconsin Supreme Court. The win will give liberals their first majority on the state's highest court in 15 years. Protasiewicz defeated former state Supreme Court Justice Dan Kelly. During her victory speech last night from Milwaukee, Protasiewicz praised voters for having chosen to reject what she considers partisan extremism in the state.
Today's results mean two very important and special things. Yes. First, it means that Wisconsin voters have made their voices heard. Yes. They've chosen to reject partisan extremism in this state. And second, it means our democracy will always prevail.
Protasiewicz's victory will allow the court's new liberal majority to determine the future of several pivotal issues, including abortion rights, the state's legislative maps, and election administration. Meanwhile, Kelly, in his concession speech, slammed the justice-elect for the way she ran her campaign.
I wish that in a circumstance like this, I would be able to concede to a worthy opponent. But I do not have a worthy opponent to which I can concede. This was the most deeply deceitful, dishonorable, despicable campaign I have ever seen run for the courts. It was truly beneath contempt.
Protasiewicz's term begins on August 1st and lasts until 2033. The next Supreme Court election will be in 2025 for the seat of liberal Justice Ann Walsh Bradley. She said last night she will be seeking re-election. Kind of a dreary day out there today.
Chief Meteorologist Jeff Willer joins us now. Jeff, cloudy skies outside.
Yeah, hey guys, dreary and windy. If you have your bifocals on now, check out this look outside. Currently, the camera kind of moving around with lots of wind gusts out there near 40 miles per hour today. And temperatures are cold for this time of the year. We're at freezing in Rhinelander, 33 for Merrill, 36 for Wausau. So this is not normal, but hold on. Much warmer temperatures are on the way. Not so much tomorrow, but into the weekend and beyond. 60s are still in the forecast for us next week. Okay, outside now, we're in the dry slot. A big system across the Great Lakes currently. This is a windy place to be, kind of a dreary place to be. Some flurries out there, some light drizzle. The back edge is going to rotate through this evening. That will likely give us a few snow flurries tonight and keep the wind around into tomorrow night for sure. And then also keep the wind around into probably early parts of Friday. But then we're done with that and increasing temperatures throughout the weekend and beyond. But overall, lots of atmospheric gymnastics going on here with a big system across the Great Lakes, bringing lots of weather across the Great Lakes area. Our forecast then for tonight, though, we're talking about cloudy skies, some mostly cloudy skies, windy and cold with low temperatures down near 20. Your full forecast is coming up. Jessica.
Thank you, Jeff. A state Senate race just outside of Milwaukee has swung legislative power firmly in the favor of Republicans. Republican State Representative Dan Canado has narrowly defeated Democratic attorney Jody Habush-Sinekin in a special election for the seat in Wisconsin's 8th Senate District. Republicans now have a 64-35 majority in the Assembly, with Canado leaving for the Senate. His win Tuesday would lift the Republican majority in the Senate 22-11. When TMJ4 spoke to Canado earlier in the evening, he said he'll be getting right to work, passing bipartisan legislation in Madison.
I already have bills authored and released right now in my role in the Assembly. So it's business as usual, really. And then it's getting things accomplished. And with that, we've got to work with Governor Evers to get his signature on the bills.
The supermajority will give Republican state senators the option to impeach elected officials with Assembly approval. The Wisconsin Constitution allows lawmakers to remove state officials for corrupt conduct in office or for crimes and misdemeanors. But Canado has said he would consider launching impeachment proceedings for criminal justice officials who, quote, have failed at their jobs. It will also allow Senate Republicans to bypass governors' vetoes as long as they can convince 2 Democratic Assembly representatives to flip their vote.
Let's take a look at some of the election results from last night. Judge Janet Protasewicz has won election to the state Supreme Court by about 12 points. 2 trends aren't good for Republicans, and they continued in this race. Dane County had more voters and higher margins for Democrats. And the WOW counties, Waukesha, Ozaukee, and Washington, have declining margins for Republicans. Let's go to Oneida County now. Judge Mary Burns lost her election to a full term to District Attorney Michael Sheik. Burns won nearly every Rhinelander precinct, plus Woodruff, while Sheik won the rest. Once Sheik is sworn in, the governor will accept applications for the district attorney vacancy in Oneida County. And quickly, all 3 ballot measures passed overwhelmingly. The first question allows judges to weigh factors like threat to the community when setting bail. Then the second question allows judges more factors to consider when setting cash bail. These 2 questions will amend the Wisconsin Constitution. The final ballot measure was a non-bonding one. A majority of Wisconsin voters agreed with the belief that able-bodied childless adults should be required to look for work as a condition of receiving taxpayer-funded welfare benefits. There were plenty of local government elections last night as well. Mike Wiese won his 3rd term as Stevens Point mayor. Wiese defeated challenger and current city council president Melissa Johnson 4,235 votes to 3,081 votes. That comes out to a 58 to 42% victory. Wiese said he was humbled by the win, and his top 3 priorities are economic development, child care access, and affordable housing.
Is a huge one. Everything from homelessness to workforce housing has been a challenge, and we're going to work on that. That's going to be one of our priorities, as it has been recently.
Wiese said he's proud of his accomplishments, making government more accessible and expanding arts and culture opportunities. Wiese also serves as a board of director of the League of Wisconsin of Municipalities. Now to Park Falls. Mayor Michael Boblik did not seek re-election there. Local business owner Tara Turvitt defeated former city alderman Joseph Oskarek 432 votes to 177 votes. That comes out to a 71 to 29% win. Turvitt said she wants to balance a small town feel with economic development.
We're a very lively town, and we got a very involved community, which is very important. That's how we grow, is to have a very involved community. So I hope to encourage that and to encourage some open communication between the city and to its residents.
Turvitt went on to say that she wants to make more affordable housing for families, young people, and seniors. She'll be sworn in as mayor April 18th. Now to Anigo. Mayor Bill Brandt was looking for his 8th term, but he was narrowly defeated by Terry Brand, who received 1,005 votes to Brandt's 962 votes. That's a difference of just 43 votes. Brand said his first goal is to meet all the city staff and more Antigo residents. Then, once he's sworn in, get right to work.
Well, the first thing I want to do is develop a long-range strategic plan. One of the things is to just deal with our image, to make it an attractive city to come and visit and to come and live and work.
He also wants to focus on infrastructure, making sure rough roads get work done, and letting residents know when that work will happen.
Have a good afternoon.
3 school board seats are up for grabs in the Northland Pines School District. Incumbents Chris Petrakis and Jennifer Payne held on to their seats. School board president David Weber from St. Germain did not seek re-election. Chelsea Rowmaker won his seat.
Voter turnout was way up across the state. Oneida County saw more than 13,000 votes in this election. That's 1,400 more than they did in last spring's Supreme Court election in 2020. Keep in mind that was spring of 2020 was also a presidential primary for Democrats. In 2019, another spring judicial election brought in less than 8,500, meaning that turnout was almost double what it was 4 years ago. In Dane County, 4 years ago, the entire court election saw a little more than 150,000 votes cast. This year, Janet Protasewicz alone saw almost 200,000 votes. The next election in Wisconsin won't be until 2024.
Should be a nice break for us. Coming up after the break, we'll hear about a group working to address childcare shortages in Oneida County. That's after weather with Jeff right here on Newswatch 12.
NBC Newswatch 12. News from where you live.
Come to Carpet City Flooring Center's biggest sale ever and get free carpet installation on any area of your home, one room, or your entire house. Only at Carpet City Flooring Center's biggest sale.
Our prices will floor you.
Visit Ho Chunk Gaming Nakusa to experience exciting action on the hottest slot machines and electronic table games. With big fun, you get bigger rewards while playing with your Rewards Club card. Enjoy special gaming offers, food and entertainment discounts, and more. Hungry? No problem. Escape to the oasis of Swiftwater Lounge for drinks, food, and fun. We'll see you at Ho Chunk Gaming Nakusa, your place to play.
The new vehicle shortage is over at Brickner's Park City, Jeep, Chrysler, Dodge, and Ram in Merrill. We have over 110 vehicles in stock or inbound for March delivery, with over 50 Jeeps available in all models, including plug-in hybrid Wranglers and Jeep Grand Cherokee. During Ram Truck Month at the Brickner's and Merrill lot, you will find over 35 Ram trucks available. Take advantage of low financing or huge lease rebates on Ram half-ton models and up to $3,000 in cash rebates on Ram heavy-duty models. There's always a whole lot of good going on at Brickner's Park City, Jeep, Chrysler, Dodge, and Ram in Merrill.
It's open season on cancer. Help us raise money for the Ronald McDonald House of Marshfield by purchasing a hat, an H2O Go bottle, or other special items. With your donation of $20, you'll receive over $50 in valuable coupons, and a $10 donation is given to the Ronald McDonald House. Purchase items at Cost Cutters of Central Wisconsin, the Barber's Family Hairstyling, Mullins Cheese in Knowlton, Chase Outdoors in the Cedar Creek Mall. It's open season on cancer, a season that never ends.
Come to Carpet City Flooring Center's biggest sale ever and save $300, $600, or even $1,000 on your hard surface flooring purchase. Only at Carpet City Flooring Center's biggest sale.
Our prices will floor you.
Weather Watch 12 with Devin Biggs, 5 to 7 a.m.
There you are. Welcome back, my friends. Okay, let's start here. This is the temperature outlook for next weekend. Look at us, right? We're going to shift this pattern to above average temperatures across the Great Lakes and the Midwest and the South. So that, keep in mind the average high being upper 40s. We could easily do mid 60s for high temperatures later on next week. Not today, though. Lots of fog out there, some drizzle, some flurries. The cloud deck, though, is rising out there currently as there are a few breaks in the clouds right now. It's not going to be short-lived, though, as we have more clouds in here tonight and probably a few snow flurries by tomorrow morning as well. And temperatures can support that. Look, we're at 32 in Rhinelander, 32 so for Upper Vida, 31 in Manasquitch Waters. Below freezing here, above freezing there. So there's some drizzle and some flurries out there currently, likely to repeat itself out there later on tonight. All right, but going forward, here's the bigger story, right? We're going to turn this corner. Not so much tomorrow, a high of 32 tomorrow, but 40 on Friday. You're going to feel that. 45 Saturday. That's a 54 for Sunday. And then look, we're in the 60s Tuesday and Wednesday with a higher sun angle. That's going to feel like spring around here. And a couple of robins peeking out probably next week as well with temperatures in the 60s. But for right now, it's incredibly windy out there. We're getting wind gusts near 40 to 50 miles per hour with some light snow flurries across the area tonight. That's going to continue tonight and throughout the day tomorrow. So we're going to keep things windy for another day and a half around here. All right, so here we are. We're in the dry slot currently, and there's a big upper upper level low across the area right now. We're in that spot where the jet stream kind of pokes in here, and that's a very windy place to be. But back behind this, over there, that's going to tweak back through this way tonight. And when it does that, it's going to give us a few snow flurries, keep things windy. And for a couple of us, there could be a little bit of snow. So here it comes tonight. It's going to all kind of rotate through very slowly. And then by tomorrow morning, a couple of you could wake up to maybe an inch of snow, especially along and north of Highway 8. That will look something like this. So again, this is not a big snow. We're not going to break any records, but overall, there could be an inch of snow on the ground tomorrow morning early, and then also into tomorrow afternoon. Our forecast, though, for tonight, though, we're looking at mostly cloudy skies and windy out there. A couple flurries can't be ruled out, with low temperatures down near 20 and a really gusty southwest wind. For tomorrow, it's Thursday. Lots of clouds around, still windy, a couple flurries around too. Look for high temperatures near 32, so no relief quite yet, with a west wind that could gust near 35. And then looking ahead, your 7-day forecast by Northwest Furniture and Mattress shows tomorrow's the cold day, and then Friday 40, Saturday 45. There's a good chance for a few, maybe an inch or two of snow on Saturday. Here's Easter, 54, mostly cloudy. And then look at next week, Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, all dry with temperatures near 60. Dan and Jessica.
Thank you, Jeff. According to the Center for American Progress, 33% of Oneida County is considered a child care desert.
This means parents have little to no access to child care in the areas they live. The Oneida County Child Care Coalition is a new group of parents, child care providers, and professional organizations tasked with finding solutions to child care issues. Lauren Sackett is a parent of 3 and the president of the coalition.
We're in a child care shortage. We have 16 regulated child care facilities in Oneida County. So that's home-based, group centers, all that kind of stuff, 16 regulated facilities.
Sackett says those 16 facilities have a capacity that only covers about half of what is actually needed in the county. The coalition is currently surveying local businesses and employees about their policies and needs regarding child care.
To address child care issues within our county and help to spread awareness as to all of the intricate, different details about the child care industry.
Issues include the lack of staffing at facilities, rising costs of daycare, and having to take off work to care for a child. Community members are invited to attend a town hall meeting on May 16th. It's still in its early stages of being planned, but check the coalition's Facebook page to stay updated. The Brewers finished the series in style today against the Mets.
Coming up, we'll have a look at the exciting finish after the break.
You're watching NBC 12 from where you live.
Hi, I'm Kristen from Sleep Central on Highway 51 South in Minocqua, your bedding and futon headquarters. We carry the largest selection of name brand mattresses in northern Wisconsin, in stock and ready for immediate delivery. Beautyrest, Sealy, Serta, Stearns & Foster, and Tempur-Pedic. We also have a huge selection of accessories to complement your bedding purchase. Sleep Central also carries a wide variety of futons and unique bedroom furniture with quality all-wood construction. Better sleep, pain-free, that's our promise at Sleep Central in Minocqua, your one-stop sleep shop.
Is a new roof on your spring to-do list? Hi, I'm Paul, owner of Overhead Solutions. Now is a great time to think ahead and secure a spot for that replacement on our schedule. Go ahead and call our competitors, but before you sign on that dotted line, call Overhead Solutions. I believe our high quality and fair price can beat our competition.
Call Overhead Solutions for a free roof estimate.
Remember, don't overpay. Call Overhead. Overhead Solutions.
Do you know the secret to losing up to 1 pound of fat every day? At Wausau Weight Loss, we know the secret. Our unique doctor-supervised program makes it easy to lose weight, get healthy, and get your energy back safely, naturally, and effectively. If you'd love to lose unhealthy fat without counting points or calories, no exercising, no prepackaged meals, no HCG, no drugs, no hypnosis or surgery, call Wausau Weight Loss today at 715-203-8695.
Hi, I'm Janelle. I've lost 70 pounds in 30 inches. I know the secret. I feel great now after losing the 70 pounds. I can do stairs. I don't have pain through the day, through the night. As a breast cancer survivor, I knew I needed to lose the weight to prevent future health issues. I feel great, living each day with hope for my future.
For your free private weight loss consultation, call Wausau Weight Loss today at 715-203-8695. WeKnowTheSecret.com.
NBC News Watch 12. News from where you live.
The Milwaukee Brewers finished their series against the Mets today in exciting fashion. The Brewers are now 5-1 after a Garrett Mitchell. Well, this is the Bucks, I think. You know, I'm not that familiar with basketball and baseball. Let's see if we can circle back to baseball. Okay, we're going to go to basketball. You'll have to hear about baseball at our 10 p.m. newscast. Apologies about that. But let's talk about the Bucks now. They're one away from winning and clinching their conference's top seed. The Bucks cruised past the Washington Wizards last night to a 140-128 victory in Washington. With the Boston Celtics losing to the Philadelphia 76ers, the Bucks' magic number was cut to just 1, and Milwaukee can lock up the top spot tonight. Though the Bucks hope to be the top team in the NBA, Giannis Antetokounmpo says that doesn't stop them from having to go out to win every night. Well, we're having some issues here, as you can see, but let's finish off this story. Giannis Antetokounmpo finished the night off with his 6th triple-double of the season. Drew Holiday fell just 1 rebound short of his own triple-double with 20 points, 10 assists, and 9 rebounds. The Bucks will hope to get that #1 seed tonight at 6:30 versus the Chicago Bulls.
When avid skiers think of the ultimate skiing, well, for most, it's probably the major resorts out in Colorado or Utah.
But Midwest Family Ski Resorts, which owns 3 properties in Michigan, Wisconsin, and Minnesota, is aiming to bring their ski experience to par with those. Newswatch 12's Matt Weaver visited their resort in the Upper Peninsula and joins us live in the studio with more.
Well, Dan and Jessica, when you're talking about bringing a resort to that caliber, the first thing to do is get your lifts up to speed. Previously, a ride to the top of Snow River took about 7 minutes on average. A new lift, high-speed lift like the ones out west, will cut that number down to about 3.
There's new things coming on the pipeline, so we're very excited as locals.
It's going to take a little bit of maintenance, a little bit of ingenuity, and a little bit of modernization.
After unveiling the UP's first ever 2-person aerial chairlift back in the 1960s, Midwest Family Ski Resort's newest property is due for an improvement.
We have a lot more advanced technology now, smoother, more comfortable ride, more reliability, all reasons that we're looking to upgrade that experience.
With this season in the books, Snow River Ski Resort is looking ahead to a new era. They'll be installing a 6-person high-speed lift, the first of its kind in the Upper Peninsula of Michigan.
The chairlifts, etc., are proving to be a little bit primitive. And hopefully it'll bring more people and create more comfort to allow people to share the experience of skiing with their kids.
What was a plywood ride will soon become a cushioned express like the ones at their sister resorts, Lutsen and Granite Peak.
They're bringing what they have there, and so for us, we just really appreciate that, and I think it's going to be booming once they do a lot of their upgrades.
And other hills that we've been to where they put in a high speed, it's like you hit that early, get your runs in, and then there's options. You move to other parts of the hill, or here we get to move to another hill altogether.
All 3 of these will be coming out to make way for the new Voyager Express 6.
The lift will start here and run through the woods, cutting travel time in half.
So we're excited to see, our guests come up and get more and more runs in every day, and it'll also be easier for people to load, so the lift won't stop quite as often. It'll be easier for kids and families to all ride together and enjoy the sport of skiing as a family.
Snow River hopes that the improvement will bring people from near and far.
It'll be fine. Like I said, all I'm just happy about is that it's a committed investment for the future of the sport, and our retirement's perfectly intact.
And people will come.
In the Upper Peninsula of Michigan, Matt Weaver, Newswatch 12.
Weather Watch 12 with Devin Biggs, 5 to 7 a.m.
Winter won't last forever. Call Stern Lawn and Landscape now to plan your spring project. Stamped concrete patios, retaining walls, new yard installations, irrigation, and more. Stern Lawn and Landscape, providing great lawn services for a great price. Find us on Facebook.
Cleaning is the worst. Seriously, there's gotta be a better way. So we gave Swiffer a shot. If we don't love it, we get our money back. Spoiler alert, Love it.
Sweeper's heavy-duty dry cloths grab dust and hair and lock it away. Better than my broom that can push it around. It even gets into hard-to-clean grooves and grout lines. Cool.
And Swiffer Duster gets in all those hard-to-reach places, trapping 3 times more dust. Yeah, switching to Swiffer, totally worth it. Love it or your money back.
Hi, I'm Scott.
I'm Allie, and this is our family.
Are you sick of shopping for big-ticket items only to be told you need to order it out and not see it for 6 months? Or would you rather explore it in person before purchasing it? Stop in Shoulders RV Marine, where we have millions of dollars of campers, boats, power sports, and docks and lifts. If you're thinking of almost anything outdoors, sales, parts, rentals, or service,
we'd love you to think of us.
Shoulders RV Marine, across from Menards, Rhinelander.
Hi, have you seen that realtor with all those billboards?
Hold my beer.
Get local, award-winning injury lawyers. Get Nicolay.
Oh, boy, would you look at that field goal he kicked right there?
That looks fantastic. Boy, it looks like you need to stop at Tomahawk Furniture and Guns.
Furniture and guns?
Now, they've got everything you need at great prices. Recliners, sofas, mattresses.
And guns?
One day, I will rock that swimsuit.
Your one day is closer than you think. From fresh meals to one-on-one coaching, Jenny Craig is Weight Loss Made Simple.
Your one day starts today.
You're watching NBC 12 from where you live.
Yesterday, we learned about hail and sleet and the difference, and if we can get Jeff in on this as well, if you want to sneak in here. Oh, no, now we're ready. So, Jeff, you know, it was lightning and storming last night. I'm curious why it doesn't do that during the winter as often as it does during the summer.
Agreed. You know, lightning likes warmer temperatures. You get updrafts in a thunderstorm, right? That kind of rubs things together in the storm. You get that friction, you get lightning out of that, right? So it likes warmer temperatures, and technically in the winter, we don't get a lot of warm temperatures. So that's why lightning is more prevalent in the spring, summer, and fall months because of the warmer temperatures out there.
Interesting. Never knew that.
But man, that was interesting last night, wasn't it? I mean, it was a light show. What made it really, really cool was that the ground is still covered in snow. So all that light reflected off the snow. It made it kind of amplified it. I don't know. I was like a kid in a candy store last night. So let's go look at the lightning now. There's some lightning, not the lightning, but there's the lightning that we had a couple, that was a year ago actually. But outside now, we're getting a little bit of a dry slot, which is a big system across the Midwest currently, wrapping around Wisconsin. It's going to bring us back some more cloud cover tonight and probably a few flurries and keep us windy. But then overall, we have a warming trend kicking in. Next week, 60s are in the forecast.
That sounds nice.